back to this week's series of Wisp. Why you should play. And this, and I'm joined by my two cohorts.
Can you speak today?
No,
it's
I
like
can't.
last Friday when you
can't.
couldn't fucking say a goddamn sentence.
Nope, not a single
You
sentence.
still can't write on social media.
I didn't even have to say that. And to my far left, I have the greatest Zelda fan in the world. If you don't believe me, check out the tattoo of the Triforce on his right arms. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Jeremy Bird.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Biggest Zelda fan in the world, coming at you once again.
Ouch.
And to my direct left, I have Peter Anderson.
What's going on?
Unravel still sucks.
And yes, it does. And I have the most
And
fabulous
that's Nick.
ponytail in the business, Nicholas De Jesus. How's it going
going?
tonight, everybody?
I was gonna say it for you.
And before we get started, here's a thought. I
Coming
don't
out of the closet.
understand
Damn.
why these walking simulators are so popular. Your Walking Dead, Life is Strange,
Wolf Among Us.
Wolf Among Us, Batman that's going to come out,
Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
Telltale. Tales of the Borderlands.
Is that Tales? Yeah, Tales of the Borderlands. All these games, I don't understand why they have become
You don't
so
even know
popular.
half the games.
I don't. And
don't
I
either.
played one to review this week. And I don't understand why they're so popular. So, I'm not talking about episodic, I'm talking about walking simulators. Basically, you walk around, you look at shit, you react to shit that's prompted on your screen, and that's pretty much it. I can't understand the reasoning behind it. I can't understand why anybody would want to play an interactive comic book as a video game. I have no basis for understanding it. When I play a video game, I always have more than just walking around.
Excuse me.
Bless you.
The only activity that I partake in is more than just walking around. I have never played a game that is, okay, walk here, walk there.
Well, you've
walk
always
here,
been an
walk
action
there.
adventure type character of a gamer.
Not necessarily. I mean, I'm a platformer. I'm a
So I can
open
jump on you.
worlder.
What would you say is your genre you play the most?
We've talked about this already.
My genre? Yeah, I guess it would be more towards action adventure. But I mean,
Pete was right. Thank you.
but any game that I've played, like Noir, for instance, that's had more interaction than these games, and I hated Noir.
L.A. Noir?
Yeah, L.A. Noir.
Bleh.
I hated that game, but that had I have more appreciation for L.A. Noir than I do for these games. These games are entirely story driven, and there's no entertainment value in them other than what I could get out of a movie, and that's my thought.
See, I enjoy it for. I said that.
I'm gonna sneeze again.
Bless you again.
Thank you.
You're welcome. It to me, for being a story player who loves to play stories, we've beaten this horse down. People, they know I love stories, and Life is Strange, great story. Walking Dead, great story. Wolf Among Us, yeah, it's all right. Game of Thrones, yeah, it's all right. You know, Tales of Borderlands, loving the first episode when I was playing it, laughing my ass off, and I hate the Borderlands series. I never really fell in love as much as I wanted to, but the game is making me fucking laugh. But to me, it's a way to be like, you know what? I don't want to shoot things in the face. No, I don't want to.
You always want to shoot.
I don't want to do this set piece. No, I don't want to jump from this mushroom cloud to the next mushroom cloud in Mario. You know, I want to go and just look around a house in Gone Home and figure out what's going on, why this house is abandoned. I want to go into Life is Strange and get development with these characters and look around for clues and try to figure out what happened to Rachel in Life is Strange. I want to go and investigate things in L.A. Noir. Oh, there's a little bit of gameplay.
Well, L.A. Noir is not in this realm.
Yeah, but
this
I'm
is
saying-
a completely different game.
No, but in the idea of just searching and doing clues, because that's what these walking simulators are. They're looking for clues and finding out more of the story. Gone Home, you can finish in under a minute. I have the trophy for it. You know, or you could take your time and go through and find every nook and cranny. See what happened to the uncle. See what happened to her sister. See what happened to the parents. See what they were going through. And that opens up. You talk about, you know, and I know different genre. I understand, Nick. But Metal Gear, you have to go through each and everything. Yes, you have the gameplay and the combat in the beginning, but some people may not be as much as a gamer wants to play this game.
So go watch a movie.
That's a choice, but if you want your girlfriend, boyfriend, significant other to get into a game,
The last thing I want is for my girlfriend or significant other or anybody's significant other
Fiance.
to get into. I said significant other, so that's
Me
the same thing.
jackass.
It's like a wife, girlfriend, or fiance.
gumma.
yeah, but you were like girlfriend. I was like,
But the last thing I want, is for them to get into a game that's not really even a game. It's.
But introduce them to these games that can have story.
But you can introduce them to the story, and that's Deadpool. Now there's a game. There's a game for Deadpool. I can say, hey, do you like the movie? Here's the game. Check it out.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
Shut the fuck up.
It's not. It's not necessarily the same thing. And there's powers that Deadpool has in the game that they never showed in the movies.
But you can look at Walking Dead, for example. You have that point-and-click adventure type style, but you also have the action where, hey, a zombie's attacking you. You have to do this. You have to reach over and grab that axe to chop him in the head.
No, you don't reach over and grab the axe. You do a command prompt to reach over and grab the axe.
And
But you're not
sometimes you have
actually
to
going there.
physically grab it with moving the controller over, which is like a point and grab, but the same type of idea. It's basically Walking Dead. I think is great because it merges and very basically, don't get me wrong, the action of a video game and button prompts and grab this to do this and the storytelling. That's why I think Walking Dead was so successful. That's why Life is Strange not a lot of people gravitate to because it's only basically choices and story.
That's kind of why I couldn't quite get behind Alan Wake. It was a good game, but just I couldn't really get into that. Life is Strange sounds different. It's like, what is it? You'd say the teenage-esque game?
Yeah,
Like,
it takes place in high school.
I'll give it a shot. I'll take it out. If it sucks, you owe me $20.
I can't get behind them. After finally playing one, I cannot get behind
So
them.
Firewatch is
is
a walking simulator.
It's a walking simulator.
Wait, we're not there yet. We're still on just a thought.
That's very true. But yeah, I want to know what your take is on it because I just can't wrap my head around playing an animated or a virtual movie, quote unquote.
Can you get behind a MOBA?
No.
See, but to millions of people, League of Legends is the greatest game ever
No,
made.
I can understand a MOBA far
You
more
can't-
than...
you can't understand a walking
can't-
simulator?
No, not at all. As a game? No. You give me a virtual headset and let that play while I'm watching it in a virtual headset and I control where I'm looking, I can get behind it as a virtual movie. But as a video game, absolutely not.
So that's what No Man's Sky is looking to be. It's just
No.
you exploring.
No, it's not. You
What-
take
what
over...
fucking planet
what
are you on?
game are you looking at? Because you have
fuck is
weapons in
wrong? My
No
voice
Man's
cracked.
Sky. You actually interact with the world. You're going around discovering, yes, but you're actually combating other races, other humans, other spaceships. You're not doing that by following a command prompt that tells you now is when you can hit X. You can hit X whenever you want to fire your fucking torpedoes.
I don't like this herd of sheep-esque things. Die, motherfuckers!
Yeah, like you can kill whatever you want whenever you want to in No Man's Sky. You'll suffer ramifications for it, but it's nowhere near.
You remember that herd of sheep that you killed? Well, I'm their ancestors, you fucker.
It's nowhere near the same concept as a walking simulator.
My green apple is empty.
Oh, too bad. Yes.
Yeah,
Alien
smells
piss.
really good.
If you didn't know, this is the greatest games cast in all of Albion, all of the Mushroom Kingdom, and all of the
Yay.
past, present, and future locations of the shitty franchise known as Assassin's Creed.
See what I started?
Yes, you started it. You said crappy.
Crappy, shitty, same fucking.
It's the same thing. I mean, you're still...
I'm gonna say poopy on mine.
You are?
Yes.
Okay.
Remind me when we next time. I'll be poopy.
We're three friends who like to talk about video games, and we bring you those shows every Monday. Wednesday and Friday.
You're killing it right now.
And we honor you with Let's Plays on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And sometimes, for some reason, Pete likes to do dualities, and he'll drop 2 Let's Plays on one of those days.
Fighter 5!
We bring you the biggest news in gaming and our
News?
1-Up News specials.
A muse?
I said news.
I heard.
I heard Muse.
You heard Muse? Alright, well, these guys are my muse, so let me correct that. We bring you the biggest news.
Inspiration. This motherfucker.
That's why he can't go in front of the camera and give what up news. The only time was that white beater when he talked about Kojima.
Kojima, yeah.
And
yeah.
the one
But that was
where
the
it's
only time. That was the only time I was passionate about bringing people the news about video games. The other stuff is all stuff that you guys like. In our One Up News series that these guys bring to you every so often.
When it's something big drops.
When something big drops, generally. And sometimes we do a little special streaming. You know, I think Pete is actually working on a Rainbow Six stream that you're trying to get going.
Rainbow Six, Street Fighter 5 tournaments coming up.
Get me in on that.
Division's coming up later.
Later, when it comes out.
Yeah, a whole bunch of stuff.
There's a whole bunch of things that Pete's trying to get organized,
you'll know.
so that we'll have big streaming events for.
Check out our Twitch Improv Cap. Check out the Twitter and Instagram improv_gaming. We'll have all the information there, and of course on the channel.
Yeah, and if that sounds good to you, please like, subscribe, and share our beautiful faces with your beautiful friends. Now, to the topic at hand: Wisp, Firewatch.
I'm ready.
Me too.
Okay,
I'm ready.
so
This is uncomfortable.
it's very uncomfortable for me. It's
I thought you were gonna be like
two more hands and I'm used to touching me. All right, so I get the game, right, and I'm like, I'm thinking to myself while I'm getting the game. All right, you know the rule.
Nick.
The reviews of this game have been back and
Unravel.
forth. They've been back and forth. So I was like, you know what? Let me give it the try. Because at first, when we suggested doing the Wisp series for this week, I said, I don't know if I want to do Firewatch. I've looked at the reviews. I don't know if it's really my type of game. But I kind of swallowed my pride and said, you know what? I haven't tried one of these kinds of games. One of these, you know, indie developed, quote unquote indie developed games that have kind of like been ranting and raving about in the news. So I was like, let me try one. And I got Firewatch. I downloaded it and I decided that I was going to start playing it. And the beginning, it gives you a whole backstory to the character that you're playing as. And as it's going through the story, it's giving you prompts. Like it'll say, oh, something happened, and then what's your reaction to that event happening? And then you choose what the reaction to that event is. You know, like there was one where you go to a kennel and you're going to adopt a puppy, and your wife sees one that she likes, but you notice one that you like. Which one are you going to pick? And you pick the one that she likes, or you pick the one that you wanted, right?
Which one did you do?
I picked the one that she likes.
Yeah, any man would.
I picked the one that she likes. And then it gives you the backstory of how her health starts to decay and all that stuff. And then this is explaining why it is that you've decided to go into the Firewatch, which is in Wyoming, and I think it's Yosemite Park, I believe.
Yes, you're correct.
If I'm correct, it's Yosemite Park, and you're in Wyoming, and you're watching, and you're in a tower, and you're just looking out for fires. Your only access to the outside world is this girl named Delilah, who is your supervisor, and you communicate with her through your walkie-talkie. Now, I like the walkie-talkie aspect where, you know, you actually have to hold down a button to hold the walkie-talkie and start to speak, and then you select your prompts with the other trigger. I think it's R2 for your walkie-talkie, and then L2 and then R2 to select your prompts, or L2 or R2 and R1 that you can cycle through them. You can go up or down.
I get you.
So that start off was like, okay, this is interesting. As it's telling you the story, it's breaking into parts where you can actually interact with the world. So it'll give you a blurb, and then it'll flash to whatever Henry is doing at the moment. You know, I think it was drinking a cup of coffee, looking around the room. Then it went to a blurb, and then he's walking out, grabbing his backpack. Then it went to a blurb, and then he's putting the backpack in the back of his truck. And then it went to a blurb, and now he's in the woods.
Yeah,
something like that, something along those lines. And then it's another blurb, and then now you're starting your game, and I think that's pretty much how it went. So you walk up, you go to the Firewatch, Delilah calls you, and every time she would call me, I would think of that song, "Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City?" Every single time, I was thinking of that song, every single time that she called.
Do they reference that in the game?
No,
Does
not
it
at
go
all.
like, "Hey there, Delilah"?
No, not at all. It doesn't go anywhere near that. Which I thought was like that was you should have said something about that song. That just would have been fucking awesome. So it's a narrative based game, if you want to call it that. Again, because I don't like the way that it's formatted. It's open world in a sense, but I mean your world is very small, but it's an open world game in a sense. You know, if you choose to follow like the mission prompts, then you go in the one direction. But if you choose not to follow the mission prompts, you can go somewhere else, or you can go wherever you want to, provided that you have the tools necessary to go everywhere.
That makes sense.
Like the rope and stuff.
Like the rope, like an axe, I think is one of the other ones, or a key. So basically, you gather 4 items in the entire game. There's 4 items that you gather in the entire game. And one of them is a narrative progression. The other one is to actually access different parts of the world. So to me, that's just. I mean, I get it. You get one item so you can access a different part of the world, or different parts of the world, I should say. Then you get another item so you can access to another part of the world, but it's a very small part in relation. And then you get the last item that kind of closes out the story. So it's a lot like GTA, right? First island, second island, third island.
Yeah.
But it wasn't interesting to me. I mean, the story was, but only so far. You know, you can't blame me for not being a narrative kind of person when I'm a Metal Gear fan, and that's probably the biggest narrative you're ever gonna deal with.
Yeah.
So to say that and the thing that made me interested in Metal Gear wasn't necessarily the gameplay, it was the story. So for anybody to say, oh well, you don't understand narrative games, really? That's kind of why I've been gaming, is because of my experience with Metal Gear Solid. So there's that.
Can't believe that ending in Metal Gear Solid 5. What do you think of it?
I thought you didn't see it either.
You just got called out. You got brat.
The person that plays every game and beats every game.
I beat on Revel.
Yeah.
If you want your money back, don't
Much
you?
to your own dismay. So the game is visually subpar, I think. I thought while I was playing it that the reason it was subpar was because it was procedurally generated. I did some research afterwards. It is not procedurally generated.
I know what that means now. I asked him already.
Yeah. It's not procedurally generated. I thought it was. It certainly felt like there was a lot more draw on the system than there was, because I was getting a lot of clunkiness in the frames. I was getting freezing. The game did freeze on me once towards the end of the game. The most interesting part of the game, I was like, okay, and then boom, and I was like, wait, what happened? Did I get another freeze frame? And it was much more than just a freeze frame. I had to shut down the game and start it all over again, or start the game from the last checkpoint. Luckily, the checkpoint wasn't too far away from where I was.
I hate when that shit happens.
Yeah, the game was saving very often, which I liked, because then if I needed to pick up, I could pick up right back from where I was. But overall, I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy it at all. I mean, I sat there and I'm playing the game. My fiance comes up to me and goes, "Why are you even playing this game?" And I said, "I have to do a review for it." And she goes, "You're going to give it a bad review, right?" And I was like, "But you haven't even seen it." She goes, "I've seen everything I need to see. Like, there's no reason for me to see any more than this game." And she was right. Like, I was like, you know what? She's not a gamer. She doesn't understand how games can progress over time. But she was absolutely 110% right. I couldn't get into it.
So you wouldn't recommend this?
I would not recommend it for anybody. But I'm not the type of gamer that appreciates these games.
Do you think, with listening to me about Life is Strange and everything, you think I would enjoy it?
No, I don't think you would. I don't think this story is in depth enough to actually bring you in. Yeah,
Okay.
I mean there's a lot of facets to the story, to the narrative that's being told, and there's a lot of interesting little things. And it seemed like you could really kindle up a romantic relationship if you chose the right things the entire time. But I failed, kind of. Like, I was like, oh, because there was this little thing where I was like, oh, hey, what's up? I was like, how you doing? Right?
How you doing?
It was one of those moments where I was like, hey, whoa, this is getting a little frisky. All right,
Sidetrack.
let me see what I can do with this. So I started like saying the right things, and then like the next day something happens, and I was just like, well, there's no options that get me to like flirt with her again. So I don't know which ones would actually convey, like get the romantic interest to start going. So I think that was put in there so that they could say, hey, by the way, you can do this. And there's a certain set of steps that you have to take in order to actually turn it into a romantic relationship. It just I wasn't a fan of the narrative for what it was. There is a strong narrative there, but they didn't flush it out that well. The ending was absolutely terrible.
Wow.
Absolutely terrible. I mean, you find out more about other people, but like the ending for your character is just open ended. It's just there's no reason for that kind of open endedness.
Do you think it will be a free PS Plus game, as well as Unravel, in your opinion?
But not Street Fighter 5.
It might. I don't know. I mean, if Unravel and Firewatch are both free games, I think they're gonna come out at this. Well, there's gonna be one, and then there's gonna be the next week. It'll be the other.
Yeah.
So, or the next month, it'll be the other one.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, for me, it wasn't a good game, and I'm sure for you, it won't be either because the narrative is so short. Number one, and number two, it's not entertaining per se. It's mystifying in a way, or it's a bit of a mystery, you know, like you're finding out.
I feel
more
like it's gonna be
details
like a
about that.
Gone Home type thing, where it was like, here's this abandoned house, there's a mystery going here, search the house, see what happens.
Kind of, yeah, kind of. But you're exploring the woods. On top of that, like the times that they try to make you feel like you need to rush, you don't really need to rush. You can do whatever you want to.
Yeah.
Like I sat there in this one patch because I'm trying to look at my map and look at my compass and try to figure out where I am in response to the map so I can get to this particular pathway. And I was like, there's a fire burning in the forest that's about to engulf this spot. That's why I'm leaving, and I see no signs of it.
That's disappointing.
So it was just like,
Yeah, I get
you know,
you.
they're like little things. Like they've tried to make you feel rushed because, hey, Henry, you got to get out of there. The helicopter's coming. You need to meet me at my place. And then you're just like, all right, I'm coming. Oh, but I just got a clue about this thing. Or, you can check it out. There's a fucking fire. You really want me to check out and investigate what the fuck is going on
You're
there?
about to engulf in flames, but come check this out real quick.
So pass.
So for me, it's a pass. Absolutely a pass.
We
It's
actually,
a week.
you and I never did.
Yeah.
Well, I said.
Yeah, well,
I
yeah,
said we
yeah,
get.
you said pick it up.
I get pick up Life is Strange, and you can also, when it's discounted, I would say try Unravel.
I fucked up, but honestly, buy Street Fighter. I would. If you're a fighting game fan, you're gonna love it. Definitely buy Street Fighter 5.
Unless you're a classic fighting game fan.
You shut the fuck up.
Don't buy it.
You shut the fuck up.
Were you very disappointed in the game? Like that, you were very excited to try this new genre.
I wasn't
but
excited though. Like I
Give it a
guess
whirl, see what happens.
I went into it thinking, it's probably not gonna be for me, and then I played it and I was like, I was absolutely right. It's not for me. So for me and my kind of gaming experience, Firewatch is not a game. The graphics are subpar, but I think it's done that way on purpose because the characters are cartoonish, a lot like what I've seen in The Walking Dead and those series.
Yeah,
Like it's a
I
very
get you.
cartoony.
Oh, cell shaded.
Yeah, it's very well. Was he cell shaded?
In a way.
Do you actually
Kind
see
of.
him?
Well, you see like his hands. You don't really see him. I think towards the end you see a picture of him, but you don't really see him. You don't really get to see him. You don't see any characters actually, and they did that on purpose. They did that on purpose. One, it's because to allow for the mystery. Number one, and number two, it's because they didn't want to deal with lip syncing voices and
voiceovers
lips.
and shit.
Yeah, so they didn't want to deal with that. You do see two characters. I'm sorry. You see three characters. You see two girls very, very far off in the distance that are yelling at you at the lake, and then you see a gentleman with a flashlight in the middle of the night, but you don't see their figures that well. So there are those two aspects. But I mean, for me, it was just
Not worth it.
yeah, it wasn't. Even like the mystery that they tried to unravel, like it wasn't the same kind of a
Unravel?
mystery.
God
It wasn't the same kind of mystery that you're thinking it is. So like they put a twist in the mystery, and it was all over the place. The narrative wasn't well done. A lot of aspects of the game just they weren't well done. It was all over the place. It was like, oh, this is your mystery, and then you discover, well, wait, no, this is the mystery. But how did it jump from this to this? So suddenly, and all the information kind of know, like you know that there's a couple of things that you know you have a question about, but like this one isn't as big of a thing that you have a question about, and this one really is. And it turns out that this one didn't matter the entire time, and the thing that you thought didn't matter really does matter a lot.
Huh.
And even still, who gives a fuck I'm done with this. Like,
Yeah, I
I'm
get
done with all the game guy.
I don't give a fuck anymore. I really could give two shits.
Stop playing with Aaron.
So that's my whole thing on Firewatch. I think it's not for me. I don't think it's a worthwhile game, and I don't think you should pick it up. I think you should move on with your life and try something else.
So we got what? 2 buys, 2 eyes and 2 passes.
2 buys and 2 passes? No.
2 buys.
2 buys.
1 discounted,
1
1 discounted.
and then
1 rent. And
1
then
rent
and then 1 no.
and 1 no. No, don't buy. Do not buy.
and then pass.
Or get it when it's free and you don't have to spend any money on it.
Yeah, right.
And the price point, $17.99. I wasn't happy with that.
And it was $19.99 originally.
Yeah,
It
well,
was
I had
just-
the
yeah,
PlayStation.
yeah.
Yeah, $19.99 originally. I did the PlayStation Network thing, so I get $17.99 on it. Which generally, I think most people, if they're getting that game, are getting the PlayStation deal.
Yeah.
So they're not really paying $19.99.
Yeah.
So why would you even offer it for $19.99?
The PlayStation does crazy
Aliens.
things.
So it's $17.99 with your PlayStation Plus account. It's $19.99 without your PlayStation Plus account, and it's definitely not worth the $20 by far.
Well, that sums up that episode.
That definitely
I
sums it up.
I like it.
Thank you guys for watching this last part of this Wisp series here on youtube.com/improvgaming. As you can see, Nick was not a big fan of
Firewatch.
Firewatch. Jay and myself very much enjoying Street Fighter. Life is Strange, definitely check that out. It came out last year, but if you haven't, definitely check it out. Stay away from spoilers for the game. It's better going in sight unseen. Unravel, at your own discretion, I would say. But you guys know where we are. You know who we are. You can follow us here. You can like the video. It helps us out dramatically.
And if you're a new viewer, be sure to subscribe.
Yeah, a lot of new faces come in. Very much appreciated. Also comment. Let us know who the first guy is.
Yes, please. Let us know who the first guy is, because I don't
Is it the
understand.
first who
Is it
talks?
first who talks? First from the right or the left if you're watching us? Is it the first person that introduces the episodes? Is it... I don't understand who the first is. Is it the first longest ponytail? The first shortest guy? The first tallest guy?
Well, you are the shortest in the ponytail, so strikes 2 on you.
Yes. Yes. I'm quite amazing at a lot of things. I'm pretty much first in a lot of things. Like I will be when we fight in Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah, absolutely not. But make sure you guys comment. Let us know what you thought if you played Firewatch, if you're playing Street Fighter 5, if you're playing Unravel or Life is Strange. Definitely let us know. Also, follow us on Twitch at IPGJBird, Improv Cap, Improv Cot. Expect a tournament style for Street Fighter 5.
We got the story modes from Street Fighter 5 coming from me.
Yep, or it should be out by now.
Yeah, it should be out. Sorry.
It should be out. We also have the Rainbow Six planning of a Let's Play. 5 of my buddies just going. You're going to see how our shenanigans... Christmas is my nickname. You'll see in Let's Play. Follow us on social media at Twitter and Instagram at improv_gaming. Email us at improvgamers@gmail.com if you want to have your question read live on the air.
And join our PlayStation 4 community, Improv Gaming.
Also check us out on Tumblr, which is Jaybird201. I can't change the name, so you're stuck with it.
You can't change the name?
I tried. It's not letting me.
You should be able to.
It's weird. It wouldn't let me. We'll figure that out.
Change the title on the thing, and then people can look up Improv Gaming.
Okay. Got it.
If you change the title on the page, the blog page.
I'll do it.
You know
This
what
is
I'm
what happens when we're not recording.
Whoops.
Thank you guys so much for watching.
saying? And as always, game on.
Game on.
That's what Firewatch is. It's a walking simulator. And how dare you try to drag No Man's Sky through the mud, sir? How dare you?
How many hours was